In your box, you'll find micropipettes of different sizes, and it's important to notice what size you're using as your micropipette. So for example, you can look at the top piece to see what size. This is 2 to 20 microliters. Sorry. 20 to 200 microliters. And this is up to 1,000. You'll also find that you have 2 boxes of micropipette tips, and these are 2 different sizes. The first is for the smaller micropipette, and you can see that it works on the 2 to 20 microliters. And then for the larger, that's for the bigger micropipette, and it works the same way. Just make sure you press in so that it's connected securely. When you're micropipetting, it's important that you pipette the full amount of liquid that you're looking for and you don't get any air into the tip. And the way you can do this is by first pressing down to the first stop and then inserting the tip fully into the liquid to make sure that there's no air that goes into the tip. So then you release, keeping it in the liquid, and then pull out and keep this release up without pressing down. Now we're going to do a quick demonstration on how to micropipette different sizes and different liquids. So this is our 2 to 20 microliter micropipette, and you can see here that it's set to 10 microliters. The top 2 digits are the number, and then the red digit is the decimal. And we're going to start by getting a new tip, and then with our first liquid, thank you Andrew, we're going to go down to the first stop, so where I feel the first bit of resistance. And we're gonna go into the liquid and then release and keep it up. Thank you. And here we go, this is 10 microliters. And notice how my elbow is fixed onto the desk. This helps just stabilize your micropipette. All right, and now since we're changing liquids, we're gonna eject the tip by pressing the side button into the trash can. We're gonna get a new one. And now we're gonna adjust to 15 microliters, and we can do this by turning the dial up to 15, like so. Now with our second liquid and our new micropipette tip. And we'll put the tip back in the trash can. Gel electrophoresis is an important process in the biotechnology course, and part of this is making a agarose gel. So today we're going to show you how to do that. First, start by measuring out 0.4 grams of your agarose powder. First, we're going to put our tray on the scale, and then we'll hit 0 to zero that out. And that'll work. Now we're going to add our 0.4 grams of agarose gel to our flask. Now we're going to use our graduated cylinder to measure out 20 milliliters of buffer. And then we're going to add this to our flask. And then we'll just swirl our flask around to make sure that the powder gets all dissolved. Now we're going to take a paper towel and we're going to stuff it into the top of the flask. And what this does is it reduces the evaporation, because our next step is to microwave the flask. And for this, make sure that you have a mitt to hold your hot flask, and now we'll take this to the microwave. Now we're going to heat this in 10-second intervals, and between each interval we're going to swirl it with our hot mitt.
I have like a cool hair. It's better than nothing.
And we want to make sure that the liquid in the flask isn't boiling. We're going to repeat this until the solution has no bubbles, but again, we're going to make sure that it doesn't go too boiling. And now that our solution has no bubbles in it, we can go to the next step, which is letting it cool down. On your instruction sheet, it mentions adding gel green, which is something that makes the DNA glow when you do electrophoresis, but that's not necessary for what we're doing. Now we're going to prepare our mold, and you'll see that you have two plastic molds here that will go into the bigger mold like this, and those will make your two gels. And then this tool here has teeth that can make holes in the gel. One side has 9 holes and the other has 6. And in this case, we're going to use the 6 teeth side to make 6 holes, and we'll put it down into our gel.
Yes, there we go.
And now we can pour our solution. So keep using your mitts, and you want to take out the paper towel and then pour it into your mold.
20 minutes later.
Now our gel has been cooling for a little while, so we can gently poke it to see if it is cooled all the way through. And it feels pretty solid, so that means that we can remove the teeth from our mold. And I'm going to do that with the hand on each side and very gently wiggle it back and forth until it comes out of the mold. Now we're going to take the plastic case outside of the bigger mold to remove any of the excess gel that has formed on the outside of the plastic. And to do this, I can just take a paper towel and I'll wipe around the outside. Now that our gel is ready, we can put it into our gel electrophoresis box. First, we want to make sure that this plastic piece here is inside the box, and you can see that it has a positive and negative end. And you want to match that up with the positive and negative end on the larger box itself. So once I've done that, it should click into place. And then it's important to make sure that the box is in a place that's convenient for you to pipette, because once your gel is into the box and you filled it up with buffer, you don't want to be moving it or adjusting it on the table. So this is a good spot for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and put our gel into our gel electrophoresis box. And you can see that I'm going to put the side with the openings towards the negative side, because DNA is negative, which means that it's going to want to attract towards the positive side, and it'll be able to click into place in that direction. Now that this is in place, we can take our buffer, which your table group will have a bottle of, and we're going to pour enough that it just covers over the gel with a thin layer. There we go. Now that we have our gel electrophoresis box set up, I'm going to take my pipette and set it to the correct amount. And so it's going to depend on what lab you're doing, but here I'm going to set it to 10 microliters. And now we're going to get a fresh tip and take our first liquid. I'm going to press down to the first stop, put the tip into the liquid, and now I'm going to put it into the first well. You want to be careful not to puncture the gel, but to get it into the well fully. And you should be able to see the liquid starting to pool into the first well. Now we're going to get a new tip and come in with our second liquid and into our second well. And we're going to keep repeating this process until we've filled up all the wells. Now to dispose of your gel and your buffer, you want to remove the inner box and be careful not to spill any of the buffer. Then we're going to pour it out into the sink. And now take out your gel and its plastic case, and we can throw away the gel into our trash can. And then we'll take this to the sink to wash these off.